can get.
Back here, first things first. Sports Illustrated senior writer Chris joins us now.
What up,
Chris,
Mannix? Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, good to see you, too.
Did Nick Wright sent the private jet for you?
He sent a lot of text messages.
Okay.
That's what he did. He sent private text messages.
Mannix and I have a lot to talk about. We're good friends.
Do I have to yield my time today?
No, well, we'll see. Not on this segment. This segment, I might yield mine.
Let's start with Warriors-Rockets. Warriors getting ready for Game 5 tonight against Houston. Klay Thompson will try to right his ship after a dismal Game 4 performance, perhaps. Hey, perhaps he's got some work stuff on his mind. He's a free agent this summer and might be closer to leaving Golden State than many think. According to reports, Klay isn't thrilled with his role with the Warriors and is, quote, tired of sitting around and getting the crumbs left behind. Mannix, should the Warriors be worried about Klay?
Not if they're willing to pony up the cash that's needed to keep him out.
And that's
Stuff
the
like,
max deal.
That's max, yeah. And look, I don't know specifically, but I think if it can be explained to Klay in the right way, he might take a little bit less than that total number. Not a lot. But look, the last time around he didn't take that full max. He took the flat number max. He didn't take a percentage or anything like that.
But that was a year earlier. I mean, he wasn't hitting true free agency. It was like Draymond. It was an extension.
But he did give them a little bit of a discount in the last contract. So maybe he'd be willing to do that. Look, the Warriors have never been anything but committed to bringing back Klay Thompson. I think there's going to be some significant changes in Golden State this offseason. I mean, Durant, we know. But if Durant walks, they could reboot this whole thing and start to look at moving Draymond Green. He's going to be a free agent in 2020. But there's always been a commitment to keeping that backcourt together. And the frustration, it always seems to come out when your team's playing poorly. The last couple of games, he's had his problems defending James Harden. He hasn't gotten the shots that he's wanted. I'm not overly concerned. It's more of a concern, of course, they lose Kevin Durant, I think, than losing Klay Thompson.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you expect Kevin Durant to, on the first day of free agency, announce his decision?
No.
Me neither. And that is where this becomes a little complicated for Golden State. Because if Golden State is thinking about luxury tax, which I don't think they should, but it's not my money. They're about to go print money in the Chase Center, moving into San Francisco. They're going to have a whole billionaire row of courtside seats. But listen, guys didn't become billionaires by throwing away money, so maybe they are thinking about luxury tax. And if they think, well, maybe KD is coming back. And if KD does come back, does maxing out Klay Thompson, do we have to? Does it make sense? Should we see if we can get him on a discount? Or if he walks, he walks. If we have Steph and KD, we're fine. That's the only risk they run. Because I expect KD to take his time. And if they do not, in the first moment of free agency, offer Klay the full 5-year, around $200 million max contract, then I think he will look elsewhere. I think he will listen to other offers, and I think he will rightfully feel disrespected. Because, yes, Klay Thompson doesn't get a lot of criticism when he has bad offensive nights. He's in this almost perfect Goldilocks zone of superstar where he makes the max money, and when he's great, we love him, and when he doesn't play well, we don't criticize him. But the other thing Klay does is he makes sure during the regular season, Steph Curry can worry about offense and not worry about defense. Now, that's harder in the playoffs when the opposition is hunting down Steph. But Klay Thompson is, and the reason his offense is down in this series, yeah, he's missed some open shots, but he's exhausted. He's chasing James Harden around. He's fighting through screens. He's trying to, again, protect Steph. And Klay has earned it. Klay has been the good soldier. Klay has never had a bad public comment. Klay has always understood his role and thrived in his role. And so if they don't offer him the full amount of money, to me, they're running a major risk.
Well, actually, in this series, he's been guarding Eric Gordon a little more than Harden with Iggy.
Sure.
Facing Harden. So he's had a little reprieve. But in that trade-off right there, you could say that Gordon's had a better series.
Gordon's playing better
than him. To me, I always thought there would be an issue. I've told Nick this privately, that playing with great players, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's also a problem because you only got one basketball. And as you have seen with this Uber Durant, like when Durant decides to go off, like you got less shots. And Klay is a shooter. So on the initial day, because we went over the press conference and what Klay said when they signed KD. And what did he say, Nick?
He said, because Steph had said, I don't mind sacrificing shots, sacrificing fame, MVP votes. And they repeated that quote back to Klay. And he said, I ain't sacrificing bleep. Just flatly. Like, and by the way, his per year field goal attempts per game, years 1 and 2 with Durant were the exact same as pre-Durant. He was still getting his 17 shots a game post-Durant and pre-Durant. This year's been a little different. This postseason's been a little different. And I don't blame him if he's a little frustrated.
And back to you, it's about winning. Because now when you lose or you don't win by the margin that the Warriors have won the first couple years, then you got reason to complain. Because if you're winning, man, everyone is happy. But when you start to, are we going to win? Or do I have to take less money? I do believe it can be a problem. I believe it should be their priority because I do believe that KD is leaving.
Well, look, and I and others have had this conversation with Klay Thompson over the years where we've talked about would he like to be his own man somewhere else? Would he like to have his own franchise? And every time I've had that conversation with him, the answer has come back a quick no, because he always says to me and others that he loves winning and to play in an environment where he can win. Now, if they mess around with him with the money, I agree with you. That could open the door for him to leave. But you have to remember, they're not going to just have their first conversation with him on July 1st. They're going to spend weeks, if not months, talking to his agent, talking to Klay Thompson about what it will take for him to stay there. So once July 1st rolls around, the formal contract offer will be what they've discussed with Klay Thompson the weeks prior.
Is your gut that he'll be back with Golden State?
My gut feeling is that he'll be back with Golden State and they reboot this thing around that backcourt with maybe a new cast of characters around them.
Oh, all right. Manic, stick around. Take a break. Coming up. Would the Celtics be better off if Kyrie left? Next on First Things First.
Our viewing audience typically knows we have sports topics discussed.